a lot of the things, if you're not in conflict about something, if it's just a routine item, but like some of the things that I mentioned, it makes the meeting go smoother if you have that piece of a consent agenda. But at any time something's going to be, you want to discuss, you want more information, then it should absolutely not be on a consent agenda.
So is it your legal opinion that you would advise us to fight?
Yes, yes.
Well, I think it's going to be a tough battle because it seems like...
Well, remember, that would have to go where to get rid of it? You know, like, who's going to tell you how to run your agenda? And if you have a consent section of agenda where every individual member of the school committee can remove something from that consent agenda, aren't you basically given the opportunity to speak on every item?
Yes, I agree. Look, I'm in favor of keeping it. But there is a serious groundswell in the state right now to eliminate it.
Through the School Committees Association.
Well, what's happened is between the legislature and RIASC and a couple of other agencies, they're trading bobs back and forth as to what should be and what shouldn't be. And so there are some agencies who are saying that we should not have it. That was my...
Right, and I've heard that also, but again, if you have it and every member of the school committee is allowed to remove something from that agenda, anything that's controversial, you're allowed to do. And if you're reappointing 10 spring coaches, do you have to make a motion to approve every single separate coach? It seems like a waste of your time as a school committee. They don't pay you enough to sit here and do that. But another question, John.
If this is an issue about transparency, is that what the idea is? Because I'm not aware of the groundswell. Yeah.
It helps, John, if you hear any more from the School Committees Association, give me, send me an email or give me a call. I was with Tim Duffy recently, and he didn't bring that up. I was actually with Tim Duffy at a workshop where we were talking about legislation that should be moving forward.
I would appreciate it if you did talk to them about this. I think it's too serious to pass on.
And again, it would have to be it would have to be statute change that would tell you you couldn't do it.
Yes.
I would rather see you using your meetings to debate an important issue than using your meeting to have to do separate motions for every single coach.
Madam Chairman? Okay, thank you. Just clarify this for us. We are responsible for a student up till age 21. Is that correct? In the state of Rhode Island?
No.
No?
You are responsible for a child up to age 21 that has an IEP and falls under IDEA. However, there was a recent court case that went to the First Circuit that said that districts are responsible for a special education child up to age 22. However, that particular First Circuit decision has been, it's been challenged by the Rhode Island Department of Education, and the decision was made by a 3-member panel of the First Circuit, and the Rhode Island Department of Education, through the Board of Education, is now asking for the full First Circuit Board of Judges to decide on that issue. So right now, the law of the land in Rhode Island is 21, but it could be 22, depending on the outcome of that decision by the First Circuit. A regular ed student, you are not required to keep until they're 21. A regular ed student can drop out at 18.
Thank you. My last question, Madam Chairman, is that okay? My last
I
question.
fed him all these questions so that I would look for a spot on him. Go ahead, John. I'm going to give you a case. It's not one that exists here right now or anything like that. Say we have a student
who we suspend, and becomes a perpetual problem, and we keep suspending, and we finally make a decision to suspend that child permanently.
There's no such thing as permanent. The
Okay.
most you can do as a school committee is suspend for the remainder of the year. We used to be able to expel. I mean, in the last century, when I was a school administrator, I could throw out middle school kids and I never had to see them again. That's not the law in Rhode Island. You can suspend as a school committee for the remainder of the school year.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any other questions for Mary Ann? Thank you, Mary Ann, I appreciate it.
Lauren, just-
So it looks like I need a motion, yes.
Excuse me just one second. Mary Ann?
Yes.
You were saying you didn't really know the reason why, that we had to start taking 6 hours?
No, what I said is, it's the law, it's a statute. The organization that you and I were both members of, you guys are also members of, does great professional development. But I'm also saying that there's no consequence if you don't do it, other than, maybe your opponent uses it at the next election, because they see they didn't follow the law, they didn't take their professional development.
Well, one of the reasons why it first came about in the state of Rhode Island, I'm just gonna read a couple of things that I had written while you were talking about it. There was an overwhelming movement, feedback from public and legislators and town and city councils demanding the education of the educators. And that's how the association ended up adopting the policies that we do to provide that education for school committee members.
So, granted, there was an overwhelming need that the educators needed to be educated. However, I'm gonna tell you that town council need to be educated too.
Oh, I agree.
Because, for example, sit on a town council and all of a sudden, newly elected, know about the zoning laws in your district, the planning laws in your district, or any of these, the liquor licenses. I believe that if school committees need the education, then every elected official needs the education. Because I can't believe that somebody can sit on a town council and know about how many years you need for a liquor license, or what we need to do for zoning, and not need some kind of staff development to learn it. So I'm not saying it's a bad thing for school committees, I think it's a good thing for school committees, but I'm saying it would also be a good thing for your town council people and your legislators.
I totally agree, thank you, and I'm sorry to have delayed everything here.
Not a problem, no, and that's why I looked at you, you're the one that has the most experience, and we've sat through this together. Thank you.
Too many times.
Thanks again, Mary Ann.
You're welcome.
So if I could get a motion to now go into executive session pursuant to open meeting laws 42-46-584 for legal counsel regarding an update on pending litigation.
Motion, Madam Chairwoman?
All in favor?
Aye.